Dirty Sports Podcast. I said, welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Good Friday afternoon. Good Friday evening.
Friday afternoon.
Rocking the Black Sox hat.
Yeah, got that when we went to the stadium, Chicago. What was that? 2017?
2018. Close.
2018.
Fall 2018.
That was right after I stole that dog.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
I skipped town to Chicago so I couldn't be a suspect.
And you're not talking about a hot dog. He's talking about a real dog.
Did I talked about that on the show.
Yeah, Andy's dog.
Yeah.
Lazarus's dog.
Yeah, that dog.
Wait, are you worried? You're worried the statute of limitations?
I just said it on Kroll the other day, so I'm not worried about the statute of limitations. But if somebody were to know where the dog was,
6 years later,
I don't know. Guy never wanted the dog. He's probably moved on.
He probably doesn't live out there anymore.
Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully he's dead.
But yeah, that was it. Well, I don't even know what they call it. Comiskey? What's it actually called now?
When we went, it was like insurance. U.S. Cellular.
No, but then I think they changed it.
Yeah, it's Comiskey. White Sox ball.
I kind of liked it. I feel like it was a little underrated stadium.
Yeah, I liked it.
I mean, it wasn't. I'm saying it wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst.
No.
But I thought it was decent. Now remember how bad they were?
Yeah.
I think we were a third of the crowd.
It was like raining.
Yeah. Hey, we survived Southside Chicago that night.
That's right. People would say that shit to me. Like, honestly, you might disagree with this. I mean, I know you're an Ohio boy and you've been some places in the world, but like, I've never in my life, for the most part, felt like, oh, this is shady.
Yeah, but like, we weren't really in
80s. Harlem was a little shady, but like I've never really felt. I was talking about this the other day. My sister, she's like her husband like lived on Hawaii for a little while. My sister's basically in-laws, my sister's husband's family all lives in Hawaii and shit like that. I was like, yo, we should buy a place like in Hawaii. We should get like a little rental place in Hawaii, something we could like rent out. And then so we started like sharing stuff back and forth. And she's like, all this stuff's on the ocean. She's like, you can go on the other side of the highway and it's way cheaper. You can get a lot of land, but it's like dicey. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? How could it be like Hawaii? You lived in Bed-Stuy. Like, how could it be dicey? Like, what are you talking about? She's like, no, I know, but I'm like, okay, just so we know, just so we're not confused. It's not gonna be dicier than Tent City outside my Venice apartment, right? Like,
well, there's different levels of the diciness. I never felt like Venice is dicey, as in a schizophrenic guy might attack you with a broken, glass.
Yeah. What else? What's the other kind of dicey?
Well, I've been in Camden, New Jersey in early 2000s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like these days, you're not like, it's not a lot of that happening like it used to happen.
But I don't know. I mean, look,
give me a watch.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking like more of. I think a lot of it. I don't know. I don't follow enough. I think a lot of it is maybe gang on gang stuff, or which obviously wouldn't include us. But like, yeah, but that's my point. There are levels.
I would always tell people who like, well, oh, Venice. I'd be like, I wouldn't walk the boardwalk home playing on your phone. But at the same time, like, I would have no problem walking the boardwalk home with my eyes up, like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. I never felt scared on the Venice Boardwalk one time.
No, I didn't either. I also think there's some naivety to that, but I agree. Like I never felt. We all know. I mean, there was that one night when I was so stoned that you told, who'd you have walk me home? Aaron? No, not Aaron. That was pre-Aaron.
Who's that?
EJ.
I just told him like get him home. So
yeah, because the Uber after the 420 Dodgers national game, you told him, you're like, dude, Ruther, I don't think should be on the boardwalk by himself, just from your apartment to his apartment, because I was so stoned. You're like, can you walk him home?
Yeah.
But also, that was the same night that I literally couldn't even talk.
Right. It was more about you than it was about Venice.
Yeah. No, I feel you. There's definitely, I agree. There's levels to these things, but
I mean, we were like riding the train in the south side of Chicago. We were like fine. Like I didn't think for 1 second anything about Chicago.
But again, I think we're just not there. I don't know, to speak. I think it matters. Like you and I feel comfortable in Venice because we're there. We understand it.
Yeah.
Like I said, like when I was in Camden for a few days at night, like we weren't really out. Which by the way is, how funny is it looking back on it that I was doing that?
Don't worry, Andy. I don't know if you know, they've cleaned up Camden since then.
I heard.
Yeah, they defunded the police.
What are you talking about?
They defunded the police in Camden, New Jersey, and fixed the city.
I don't. Let's see here. I remember listening to something on a Wall Street Journal podcast about what they did, but their case was, I forget what they did. Well, they fired everybody. It was very corrupt.
Yeah,
and they changed how they allocated the money.
Correct. They did what the definition of defunding the police. I know everybody's like, just cancel police. I was like, that's actually not what it means, but it's bad branding. But essentially what Camden did was defunded the police and fixed their city. But
it is bad branding.
Sure. If you don't know what the word defund means, I guess.
No, but the point is, if you're, there's a difference between allocating resources, which is, I think, what Camden did. And what they did was they set up, what they smartly did was, now I'm remembering this podcast, they set up a lot of community
programs. Right. They took some of the money that was going to the police department, reallocated the funds to things that help other things that would help police officers without actually just being money that was given to the police department. Like everybody here in California is all mad. They cut the fire budget by $70 million or whatever. And it's like, yeah, in the same year, they raised the police budget by $136 million. So defund the police, guys? Is that what you're saying? Because I'm on board.
Well, I think in Camden's case, again, they what they smartly did was they set up a lot of events with like basic things like food trucks, and they almost, like, I know it sounds, I don't know for a better term, like a get together with local law enforcement in the community, and it created just a better rapport to help. But I think a lot of these issues are like, there's just so much bureaucracy and everybody wants their cut, right? Like a lot of this government, whether it's police, whether it's I mean, I hate to say it now, but like fire departments included, like a lot of it is like everybody, it's like the mob in a way. Everybody wants their cut, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, there all those things, all those unions have investment firms managing their fucking, their fund. It's crazy. It's fully a business.
The union is the next level in all these. It doesn't matter. Teachers too. I mean, I've told it a few times, but when I was in when I was in Las Vegas, this just shows you the power of like the teachers union. They would front they meet. So there's 2,000 new teachers hired, and they would front your first check when you had no money if you join the union. So think about it. Like, I'm one of these many kids
It's called a bribe.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. And then he speaks in front of everybody. And I remember looking at my buddy and I go, I don't want to pay union fees all year on every check. And my buddy's like, a bunch of my buddies had already been teachers. And he's like, well, they'll protect you. They'll do this. And I was like, yeah, I go, but
yeah, he was like, listen, if you punch a kid, we got your back.
Yeah.
He's like, my uncle's a cop. He shot a black dude. He got paid time off, dude. Like these unions, this is a good move. But
you need, right? Like in that situation, I joined, like I had no money. I was like, I need just $2,000 right now. Oh, you guys confront me. And the deal was with the Silver State Credit Union Bank.
Yeah.
So you had to join that bank, which was in cahoots with the union. And obviously I'm not stupid. I'm like, okay, this is all a giant. This is like a circle.
Yeah.
And I'm in the middle of the circle. And they're like, hey, 23-year-old that's broke, you're going to join because you don't have a choice. And I did. Anyway, I don't know how we segue this to sports.
Now you're homeschooling 2 children. How's baby?
Good. She's chill.
Chill baby?
She's chill, man, so far.
Was Isla chill?
She's insane.
So this they say this is how it goes.
Well, no, they always say the second's the worst. Which,
well, I mean, what I've always heard is like you're gonna get one, it ain't gonna be the same.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't have to get too much into it. A little plug. You listen. I go into it in the Andy Ruther show, everything. But I'll just say this: I couldn't, like, we almost forgot. We couldn't sit down and like watch something holding Isla. Like,
meaning you had to always be like holding her, bouncing her, that kind of thing for her not to freak out.
Yeah, and a lot of times it had to be quiet. Whereas, like, I think since Monday, Brittany's watched 46 seasons of whatever that show is where they go on boats and the deckhands, the Bravo show, like Under Deck or whatever.
Below Deck.
Under Deck. Yeah. I mean, at this point, I think
because the baby's just sleeping, she's just sitting with the baby. She's
either sitting with the baby or the baby's just like sleeping in her little like dock-a-tot thing or whatever. Yeah. I mean, I think it's this little bed thing for little kids, like babies. Dock-a-tot is also what you do when you're a Mormon docking a tot.
Yeah. That's what Mormon youth pastors do. They dock with a tot.
But yeah, no, I mean, knock on wood, but so far for the most part, good. But I just keep with our buddy Guy being like, yo, dude, but your day will go because 2, you're like, then what's the other one doing? I gotta watch the other one. How are they interacting? Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated that you were like, I talked about it all on the Andy Ruther show. The presentation you gave me, you're like, I have a 90-minute window for the next 5 weeks if you want to squeeze in this podcast.
Oh no, this morning was the first. I set my alarm wrong, and then Isla was doing Isla things in the morning. I woke Brittany up. I'm like, the baby has vomit all over her in her crib, like covered. I was like, we got to clean her up. I was like, I'm already late. I was like, I'm supposed to do a podcast. Isla needs her nose sucked, her diaper changed. The baby needs her diaper changed. The baby needs feeding. And it's like, she can't even pick up Isla because of the surgery. So that was like, fuck this morning. I was like, Prenda, we got to bump this. So that was more of this morning. Once Isla goes to daycare, once we get the one out of the way, then
we got to get technology needs to advance a little bit in 2 ways that you just made me realize. One, alarms should never be set wrong ever again. Like Alexa, Siri, AI should just be like, you mean 7 a.m., don't you, Andy?
I agree.
Like my coffee machine the other day didn't go off, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, you set me for 7 p.m. Like, who's drinking coffee at 7 p.m., bitch? There shouldn't even be a PM button on a fucking auto coffee machine. That you should have to flip over your coffee machine and hit a switch that sets it to fucking graveyard shift mode. Otherwise, it only works in AM times. If I set my coffee to go off at 7 a.m., 7 o'clock. I mean a.m., bitch. And then the other one is, well, besides you sucking snot out, we have to have an electronic version of that. That's insane.
Oh, I have an electronic version. That's what I use.
Okay. Oh, okay, good.
It's called Dr. Nosebot.
Okay. Dr. Nosebot. Sounds like a fucking rapper in the 80s.
Brandon, this thing, I'm telling you. I talked about it on my podcast. Like the industry, we're in the wrong business. That's what I talk about. Like all these little gadgets that are not cheap, some of them like not the most expensive, but you have a market that's never going to go anywhere. It's only going to increase. And Brittany made a point to me last night, which I never thought of. She goes, and who's the best to make money off of? Vulnerable women that are about to have kids. I was like, yeah, I never thought about that.
And then the third thing is, if I'm asleep, but I'm getting up at 6:15 to do a podcast with you at 6:30, but you send me a text message to cancel that podcast, my alarm should scoot back an hour.
Yeah.
I woke up at 6:15, coffee starts grinding, and then I look at your text. I'm like, God damn it.
Sorry, man.
There's no going back to bed then. I mean, there was, but.
Well, and I agree with you. Like last night when I'm in my kind of like late night dad fog mode, not thinking clearly, if I set my alarm for 7 p.m.
That's what I'm saying.
Something should say, no, dude, you meant 7 a.m.
Yeah.
None of this is going to matter, dude. You and I, like robots, I'm telling you, we're not going to exist in like 20 years. I don't even know why I'm bringing more children into this world. They're gonna be like slave labor for the robots.
Yeah, it's literally it's the whole plot of Terminator.
I think it's happening.
Yeah,
but until it does, we can enjoy our sports. We can enjoy our discussions, which we're about to hop into about Ichiro. I want to
wait. I said to you before this, you gave me. You didn't even really preview it.
I didn't.
You didn't even really preview it. You just started dancing around the topic. And I said, this is the worst take I've ever heard, and I haven't heard it yet. Imagine that. Imagine having such a bad take. I don't even know what your take is yet. But I already know it's the worst take I've ever heard.
So, obviously, we're talking about Ichiro becoming a Hall of Famer. And they voted in. Who they voted in this week? Ichiro. Was it Billy Wagner?
Billy Wagner, yeah.
And who else? Was there a third?
There was, I believe, or was it just those two? There was a third, I think.
Let's see here. Inductees this year: Ichiro, Billy Wagner. Well, Dave Parker got in, but I don't. Again, that's like the classic era.
Yeah.
Which I guess you count. Dick Allen, Dave Parker. Oh, CC Sabathia.
CC Sabathia. That's right.
Ichiro, Billy Wagner. Okay. So the big discussion that I saw online, everybody was talking about was Ichiro was one vote shy of unanimous. There's only been one unanimous Hall of Famer ever.
Mariano Rivera.
Which
is insane. Which is
a discussion we should have as well.
Mariano Rivera, by the way, unanimous Hall of Famer. No doubt about it. Greatest closer of all time. It's not close. There should be so many.
I agree.
Unanimous Hall of Famers. Ichiro should be one of them. There's so many things about this that are annoying, including the whole Derek Jeter was the only other guy, blah, 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 one vote. That's a joke. But the thing with baseball and the Hall of Fame and all these guys and the Hall of Fames in general, and just like, cool. Who are you? What's your name? What team are you the beat writer for? Answer for yourself. Because here's the thing. If 12 dudes didn't vote for Billy Wagner, or 14 dudes didn't vote for Billy Wagner, or 17 or 70, what, I think you need 85% of the vote to get in or whatever.
Yeah.
Of 300 plus. So, 50 people could have not voted for Billy Wagner. He still got in. No one gives a shit about the opinion of, like, we're not going to go 50 people and go, why didn't you vote for him? Why didn't you vote for him? Everybody's just going to say the same thing. I didn't think he was dominant enough. I didn't think he lasted long enough. I didn't think his whip was this, his ERA was this. You're one dude. Explain yourself. There is no explanation. You'd embarrass yourself. Your credentials would probably get taken away. Everybody would think you're either a spiteful dickhead or you don't know baseball. Either way, you shouldn't have a vote ever again.
I don't like the anonymous thing either. But, all right, in any of this voting, I don't care what sport it is, you should be able to have to validate. And also, to me, it's an archaic system. I don't know. I don't have a solution off the top of my head, but these writers, and we've gone over it a million times, just because Barry Bonds was mean to you or Terrell Owens wasn't nice to you, you don't like people have trouble separating the player with the person.
Well, first of all, the simplest and easiest thing is
put up stats and you don't know the name of the guy,
or just 50%. You want your writers to matter. You still need 85%, but 50% of the people who vote are writers, and 50% of the people who vote are players.
I think that's got to be the best solution. So, Ichiro is one vote shy of unanimous,
which is ludicrous.
I agree.
He was the rookie of the year and the MVP in the same season. I believe he started out his career with 10 straight 200 hit seasons.
Correct.
He won how many batting titles? I don't know. More than one. He hit over 300 for a career. He was an incredible fielder, had a bananas arm. He was he was a premier four tool player. And by that, I mean, four tools, he was tops ever. And he didn't hit for power because he was a table setter and ran and whatever. But like, he had power, but that was not part of his game. Smartly not part of his game. But he's an elite average hitter, an elite runner, an elite fielder, and an elite arm all time. All time in 4 of the 5 categories, he is top 0.01% ever.
So yeah, the eye-popping ones, obviously, career-wise, he's got 311 batting average, over 3,000 hits, but you nailed it.
And also, this is the thing that you have to remember about Ichiro. 311 career hitter, played how many years? Like played 17 years or something like that?
19, technically.
19 years? He started playing when he was fucking 27. He was in the big leagues. Like, he didn't join the big leagues until, dude, if he hadn't come up to the big leagues at 21 years old, he'd be the all-time hit leader.
Yeah, he started his career, like you said, 10 straight 200 hit seasons.
And then you could retire right there and be, in my opinion, a unanimous Hall of Famer.
I agree. You should. 10 straight. He led the league in hits 7 out of his 10 first year.
Fucking bananas.
It is pretty bananas. We have a caller who completely disagrees.
This caller should already. I don't know if I've ever done a pre-kill yourself.
As the call was going on, I was like, "Is this guy trolling us?" I kept saying to myself,
"It's got to be." I have spoken about my love of Ichiro on this show and on Dirty Slides at length numerous times. This has got to be a troll.
Okay, well, you tell me after you hear.
This is somebody who is desperate for Jalen Hurts to throw for 125 yards this weekend.
Think of all the legendary MLB baseball players that America and the world has ever seen. Mariano Rivera is the only individual to be unanimously inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. There's been a lot of talk this week about Ichiro Suzuki. Everyone's saying that he should have been unanimous. I guess my take is that Ichiro, overrated, was a well below average hitter the second half of his career. His rookie year, he won the MVP. That was his only season where he finished top 5 in MVP voting. No postseason accolades. Not a dominant hitter in the first half of his career, and of course, his Japanese career and this popularity that he brought to Japan for baseball is important. But it is the National Baseball Hall of Fame, not the International Baseball Hall of Fame. And I think that's what made him first ballot. I don't think he had a first ballot career in America. And I'm not going to say he shouldn't be a Hall of Famer. I think that'd be crazy.
Fucking retarded.
But anyone saying that he should have been a unanimous Hall of Famer is a clown. So that's my take. Ichiro overrated. Anyone saying he should have been unanimous inductee is a clown, and fuck the St. Louis Cardinals.
Hold on. Is he trolling us?
No, I don't think so. From the tone and the Cardinals, this is arguably one of the worst calls we've ever gotten.
I know, it's crazy.
This is. I'm just gonna assume that it's like
I looked up
Alfred from Kansas or something like that. It's like this is like somebody took a piece of Alex from Kentucky's skin and then put that in a petri dish and created a somehow dumber fan. This is arguably one of the worst takes I've ever heard, ever. Imagine leading baseball in hits 7 out of your 10 first years in the league. 7 out of your 10 first seasons in baseball, you lead the league in hits. And then somebody who I'm assuming has never touched a baseball in their life then says you're not a dominant hitter. How many guys play baseball? And then you lead them all in hits 70% of your prime, and you're not a dominant hitter? What in the fuck crack are you smoking?
So
Ichiro's career is, first of all, no one saw so many things wrong with this call.
Joe can't even talk.
Do you think that Ichiro made baseball more popular in Japan? Do you think fucking Panda Express made rice popular in China? I don't know if you know anything about baseball in Japan.
It's pretty big.
It's pretty fucking big. It did not bring baseball to Japan. All it did was, in fact, he probably raised the fucking spotlight on baseball in America by bringing Japanese fans over.
Yeah, because
it did not do the reverse.
Yeah, more people watching.
There is no his stock did not rise in Japan. He had like 1,200 hits in Japan. You are miscalculating Ichiro's whole career by not even taking into consideration that he missed probably 8 years of prime that isn't being calculated by you at all. And then you're holding against him the 8 years. He was so good. He started, no joke, 8 years late and played 19 seasons. Could you imagine if he had played 28 big league seasons? You wouldn't be like, oh my God, he fucking the end of his career kind of fell off. Bro, he came over when he was 27. He led the baseball in hits for 7 out of his first 10 years. He's 37. When he stops getting 200 hits every year, he's 37.
Let me ask you.
You are on crack. Stop watch. This is my ultimate attack on people when they have a horrible take. Stop watching baseball. You don't understand it. You're done. You've wasted far too much of your life watching baseball. If you even have an opinion, I hate the St. Louis Cardinals. If you have that kind of opinion, just stop watching. You've wasted years of your life probably watching something you have no concept of understanding. Pick up curling tomorrow. You'll have a better understanding of it by the end of the day.
Is this a type of person who thinks you only have to get home runs and RBIs to be dominant?
It's ludicrous. It's the worst take I've ever. It's arguably the worst baseball take I've ever heard.
It's a bad take.
He was an elite outfielder with a cannon of an arm.
So here and here's my thing.
Bases
here's my thing.
In an era when no one stole bases.
He has over 500 career stolen bases. Let's look at the definition of, or I'm sorry, let's look at his position. He was a leadoff hitter.
I've made the argument that Ichiro could be the all-time starting right fielder.
So what I was going to say about that was he's the leadoff guy. The whole purpose. You're more of a baseball guy, way more than me. Correct me if I'm wrong. The whole purpose of the leadoff guy is to get on base, correct?
It's guys like Ichiro that made like OBP and OPS and all that shit a thing.
That's what I'm saying. The whole purpose is for him to get on base.
Calculating that how important it is to get on base and then just score runs.
If he's getting on base, if he's leading the league in hits at the top of his game.
And also, can I say one other thing about your horrible, horrible, horrible call? This is the Derek Jeter defensive shortstop abilities of phone calls. It's one of the worst calls we've ever had. The other thing is you're now saying Ichiro shouldn't be unanimous because other people haven't been unanimous. That's a horrible, horrible way to judge it.
He's saying precedent. We're arguing that's a bad. This precedent is all wrong.
Precedent. Ken Griffey Jr. should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. Barry Bonds should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. I could list 25 people who should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. Greg Maddux. The fact that Greg Maddux isn't a unanimous Hall of Famer, every person who didn't vote for Greg Maddux to be in the Hall of Fame, if you know anybody that didn't vote for Greg Maddux to get in the Hall of Fame, send them this clip. Put a gun in your mouth and make the world better. I don't care that dickhead writers have not voted guys who deserved unanimous Hall of Fame. Ichiro deserved to be a unanimous Hall of Fame. It's insane.
It's insane. And I agree as well that just because the only one right now is Mariano Rivera should have no bear. That's wrong.
He had 372 in a season. He had 350 his first year in the league.
Dude, these numbers are amazing.
And by the way, he got MVP votes in every single one of those first 10 seasons except for one. He won a Gold Glove in every one of those 10 seasons, and I am not a fucking big Gold Glove guy. But like straight out of the gate, from 27 to 37, he just dominated baseball.
Yeah, that's why I bring up his position in the order. I'm saying if you're the most dominant leadoff hitter for a decade, and
you're it's ludicrous not to think he would have done it at 26. He would have done it at 25. He would have done it at 24. This is arguably the worst call we've ever gotten because it's so wrong. Overrated, so fucking wrong.
What's interesting is everything I've seen. You know how this goes when something happens and it goes out on social media and opinions are divided. This was one of the few things that I saw. Speaking of the word unanimous, where it was like unanimous across the board, everybody was saying Ichiro's unanimous Hall of Fame. Like everybody online was saying this, and then this guy left a call, and I was like, is he trolling us?
Is he the guy who cast the vote? I thought there was one dude on the planet that didn't think that Ichiro was a Hall of Famer.
So this guy's from somewhere northern/western Missouri is where he's from. I looked up his area code.
But fuck the St. Louis Cardinals. So he's what, like a Cubs
Probably Royals fan. Probably a Royals fan.
And so we hate the Cardinals then?
I guess. I don't know. Or Cubs. Obviously Cubs Cards rivalry is big. You sure he's not trolling us, man?
Maybe. I don't know.
If so, very convincing trolling. That was a very good job.
Yeah.
So. What about the other guys? How do you feel about Billy Wagner and CC Sabathia?
I'm not sure I would have voted for either of them if I had a Hall of Fame vote, but I don't really have. I don't. That doesn't mean that I don't think both of them are deserving. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I would have voted for them. Billy Wagner is obviously a Mets closer for a minute. He was dominant. Does he have the most like lefty save? No, that's got to be Franco still. But he's.
I think he might though.
He might. Okay. Which is something. I don't know that I like.
No, it's John Franco.
Yeah. I don't know who's not in the Hall of Fame. I can guarantee that much.
He's not. So John Franco has 424. Billy Wagner has 422.
Wow. Why not stick around and get 3 more saves?
Well, he was probably already retired.
Who?
Franco.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're saying Billy Wagner. Sorry. I'm not thinking.
Fucking go play for the Marlins. Get 3 saves over the course of a fucking season.
Yeah.
Most. To me, the thing about closer is dominant, but like he didn't feel to me, Billy Wagner didn't feel to me like, well, game's over. Billy Wagner's coming in, game's over. There's been guys throughout their careers who a lot of times with relievers, obviously that's why Mariano Rivera is the only unanimous Hall of Famer, which again is insane because Hank Aaron played baseball and fucking Willie Mays played baseball and Ted Williams played baseball. So this counting this as a precedent is fucking stupid. But again, the thing is guys at the closer position, the longevity doesn't usually last with the dominance. Mariano, obviously it did. Wagner, pretty long career, pretty dominant career, but it never really felt like, oh my God, Billy Wagner's coming in, get fucked, game over.
Yeah.
That would be my argument against that. Sabathia, I guess in a way, I haven't really done it. Like to me, same guy, like didn't feel like it was appointment TV to see a CC Sabathia start, but he did it for a long time. I don't know how many wins he ended up with. I know that's a broken stat, but it's also like a longevity thing as well. I don't know where he ranks. Yeah, to me, I'm not against it. Like CC Sabathia, great pitcher. I don't think either of those guys would have gotten my vote, but also I would have voted for Ichiro and then stolen the pen of the guy next to me and voted for Ichiro a second time. So,
I have a problem with a lot of the voting in all these sports, but I think baseball's got the biggest problem, right?
I'll tell you how much I fucking think Ichiro deserved the Hall of Fame. Just to double down on our boy here again, possibly. I mean, this call's in the Hall of Fame. Worst call Hall of Fame. Unanimous worst call Hall of Fame. I am from New York. I'm a huge baseball fan. I have never been to Cooperstown. And I said when Ichiro got in, I think I'm going to make my first trip to Cooperstown for Ichiro's induction. And it's the day after my wedding. So I will not be. But that's how much I think he deserves. Like, I didn't go when Piazza got inducted. I didn't go wherever. I was like, I think I'm going to plan a trip around this. Because that seems like a great reason to go for the first time. Because Ichiro's the fucking dude. And then it's the day after my wedding. So I will not be attending. But I'm there. I'll be there in spirit.
Yoshi will also be in Cooperstown, but he will be visiting the house of a former child serial killer. Dude, Yoshi will
I look forward to Yoshi visiting the site where I killed the guy who made this call whenever I find it out.
Yoshi will not stop calling me.
He called me the other day too.
No, he's been calling me nonstop for weeks. Nonstop.
I love that neither of us pick up and we talk about it on the show.
Because He always calls when I'm like changing it. It's
He always
like,
calls me in like the middle of dinner.
So yeah, he always calls me. I'm like changing a diaper or something. I'm like dealing with, or like he still doesn't understand time difference. Or
Did you see the thing Justin just sent us?
I was cracking up.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that was a great one, Justin.
I love Justin. Who knew Justin had the hot meme turnaround? Justin firing memes out. Yeah, that meme maker working on fucking. He's got an AI meme maker.
He's got Bengals Reddit open. He's got Dirty Sports open. He's got the GIF maker open, meme maker open. I really want to know if you're trolling us, dude. I want you to call back. I gotta know. It's a bad take, man.
Imagine Jaden Daniels does what he does this season. By the way, Jaden Daniels is not going to win MVP, just FYI. But amazing. Imagine if Jaden Daniels does this for like the next 10 seasons out the gate where they're like, well, he just arrived, took his team to the fucking NFC Championship game or Super Bowl, dominated the league for 10 years. And people are like, oh, well, overrated if you ask me.
Here's what you
and that's how I knew he wasn't trolling, by the way. Threw in no postseason accolades. Yeah, he was on the Mariners, dude.
Here's what you need, man. And I think Joe's going to agree with me. What you
imagine, by the way, leading the league in hits 7 of your first 10 years and not leading the league in runs ever in those first 10 years because you play on the fucking Seattle Mariners and you're the only run producer and you're the leadoff hitter. And like, imagine how much better his career, dude. If Ichiro was on the Yankees, they would have inducted him in the Hall of Fame before he retired.
Oh, versus when he went later to the Yankees.
Yeah,
you're saying his first 10 years.
If if his first 10 years had been on like the Derek Jeter Yankees, he would have been inducted. They would have been like, we're inducting him in year 8. And they're like, he's gonna play like 11 more years. They're like, that's all right. We'll put him in now.
Well, look, to our caller out there and to everybody listening, here's what you should do. If you want to get your mind right, get on that magic mind. It's literally called Magic Mind. My boy needs some voodoo magic to set his mind straight.
Dude, he needs that performance shot. He needs that green performance shot. Okay. Okay. First he needs that purple sleep shot. He needs to calm right now. You need to take that, calm down, get yourself right. Then you need to wake up in the morning, hit one of them green performance shots, open up Baseball Reference, and really focus, which it really helps you do. Focus on how wrong you are.
I couldn't agree more. My man, take advantage of this right now. We got a great bundle going on. A bundle, the Magic Mind bundle. Like Joe's saying, the sleep enhancement, the sleep performance.
My favorite thing ever.
You love it. I love it. The productivity performance. Then the next morning, get up, get your mind right. Get 45% off the Magic Mind bundle with our link. It's right there. It's on the screen. magicmind.com/DSPJan. Again, that's magicmind.com/DSPJan. Take that. Get your mind right. Bro, I don't know what you need magic. Literally, that's what this product is. It's magic. You need something that is above us to get your mind right. To get on that magic mind.
Also, Magic Mind. I'd love some more of those sleep shots.
I'll talk to him. Talk to
him. I'm gonna place an order at the end of the week if I can't get any more.
No, we'll get you love. We'll get you some more sponsor love. We'll get you some more sleep shots. Okay.
Championship. Hall of Fame bad take. Hall of Fame. First down, Hall of Fame bad take.
I agree. Let's run through some NFL coaching hires and then we'll get to the picks.
You know, I was thinking about this because I don't know what. I guess give me your 2-second reaction to Pete Carroll, and then I'll talk for a minute, and then we can get back to it.
I'll tell you what, my 2-second reaction is I would like anybody to hire Carroll. I think he's a great coach. Now, my second reaction is that's my first one, which I go anybody, but then I also go and I ask myself this question: who is a fit for the Raiders?
Mm-hmm. Well, here's why. I can't. I'm gonna guess, and you for sure. If I had to guess, I would say you were vocal about it. If I had to guess, I would say I probably agreed with you. I feel like we got to take our L I'm not sure it happened, but I'm just knowing us. I feel like we shit on a retread hire for the Washington Commanders when
we did.
Yeah. And clearly wrong.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing with that is basically did single-handedly coach them out of a Super Bowl. So like the chance, there's still an opportunity ahead even this year to big game, panic, mismanage yourself out of, they're going into the NFC Championship game. But that being said, I think you're even more like I would say of a one of Andy Ruther's like locked in, set in stone things is like the retread higher, the opposition to retread higher. Now, does Pete Carroll at 70 whatever not fit that bill a little bit?
He does. I just, my opinion, a lot of the retreads are guys that didn't win Super Bowls, guys that didn't make it to Super Bowls, guys that didn't win college national championships. To me, it's a night and day. You'd agree. There's a night and day retread higher from Ron Rivera to Pete Carroll.
Sure.
And look, age, I'll put it this way. There are like, there's a 73 and then there's a 73. Somebody might be like, I've seen Pete Carroll. You've seen Pete Carroll.
Yeah. It's on that magic mind.
He's on that magic mind. He's on something. I'll tell you what, I think, like I said, I think he's a good hire for a lot of teams. I just don't know. To me, it says Tom Brady written all over it. Doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say is I like the hire because it's the Raiders. And I also hope that part of this Tom Brady having his hands in some of the football decisions or whatever. And do I care about the Raiders? Not really. Like I've always like low-key kind of like the Raiders, my AFC team, but like I'm not like invested in any way, shape, or form. But I'm hoping that there's some sort of like this is a bridge to something else. Like we have a plan in place where like you're gonna coach for 3 or 4 years. Maybe there's somebody on your staff you really like that in a perfect world becomes the next head coach. That kind of like a Pat Riley to the Heat situation. Because 73 is old to be taking on specifically the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, no, I agree. But you make a point when I agree with that as well. There needs to be a bridge. It's almost like you hear this word tossed around a lot now, the culture. The Raiders don't have a culture.
Yeah.
If he could go and instill something, because let's not forget, he doesn't call plays, guys, either side of the ball. So he's going to need coordinators in place that he brings in. But even young guys, there is going to be a level of respect.
I'll tell you who fits the Vegas bill. Little Skrillex at training camp. Just bringing back the fucking dubstep DJ yoga class.
I mean, look, he's the kind of coach you don't hear bad things about Carroll from his former players. I think he's a player's coach, but he expects greatness. So you got to smirk. What are you thinking?
No, just I just like different. He expects greatness.
Well, my point is, like, I think a lot of guys, he's not a hard ass. Now I'm gonna laugh so hard if they bring in Russell fucking Wilson. I'm gonna laugh.
That would be insane, right? I think
is that relationship been severed?
Listen, there's a lot of God. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. I think Pete Carroll got talked into the Russell Wilson thing the first time around. And I know then it was like the way he treated him versus the way he treated other players and stuff like that. I think he's smart enough to know what are we doing here.
Well, let me ask you this, because now this division. Think about this division. You got Andy Reid, Hall of Fame coach. You got Jim Harbaugh, great coach. you got Pete Carroll, you got Sean Payton, who I think both of us agree are overrated. My point is, you have every coach in that division now.
We don't think Pete Carroll's overrated. We think
I'm
Sean
sorry.
Payton. Yeah.
Sorry, did I say? Yeah, I meant Sean Payton.
Yeah.
So every coach in that division has played in a Super Bowl, and 3 out of the 4 have won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
My point is, like, some pretty good coaches in that division. I think it's good for that division. But we all know this. You don't win unless you have a quarterback. Now, to Carroll's credit, dude, he took Geno Smith to the playoffs. Like, we know what he wants to do. Play defense and run the ball. You don't necessarily need a great quarterback for that. But, I mean...
But they need a quarterback.
They need somebody.
That's part of the big question mark with hiring Pete Carroll, which is like, how quick do you turn this around? Like, are you hoping he turns it around by his 78th birthday? Like, it feels crazy to hire Pete Carroll as we know that Kansas City's going to be good for a while. We just got to get the ship right. And, maybe before you turn 80, we can find a franchise quarterback. It's like,
let me ask you this, Joe. I guess from what I read about it, the Raiders were all in on Ben Johnson.
Okay.
Pete Carroll's the backup plan. I would say you guys are way better off with Carroll.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'd say you're way better off, but I think that Ben Johnson would get dogged by the 3 coaches in the thing. Like, that's not the division you want to show up in as the guy who's trying to figure out the Vegas Raiders.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you're the Raiders. You don't have a quarterback. You don't have weapons. You're in Vegas. Like, they need a culture changer. They don't need an innovator.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying. As an organization, this will work out better for them.
Yeah.
Even though they were all in on Ben Johnson. And then the other big hire, which I can't wait to watch flame out. I shouldn't say I can't wait. That's bad. I know it's going to flame out, is Aaron Glenn. Not because of Aaron Glenn. It's because it's the Jets.
Yeah.
But
listen, here's I like going defense. I know.
I like defense for sure.
I know, but they just had Salah and then blah 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 blah. But I like going defense. I'll be rooting for Aaron Glenn with the Jets.
Yeah.
I liked Aaron Glenn as a player.
Yeah, he was a good player.
He was a fun player to watch.
I've liked him as a defensive coordinator as well.
Yeah.
I think, he
always weird to me when a guy gets a head coaching job after giving up 75 points in their playoff in their single playoff game. But we'd love to make you.
I wonder how that affected.
We'd love to make you our next head coach. We were really impressed that last game you turned a rookie quarterback into maybe the greatest rookie quarterback performance in NFL playoff history. How did you manage to do that? He's like, well, I didn't really come up with a plan. I just thought, let's see what these guys can do.
I wonder how that affected his Madden coaching rating.
Yeah.
for Dak. What are the kids' names? Brick.
Yeah, Brick.
Smash.
Yeah.
Oh, what a dumpster fire. But yeah, you got your work cut out for it because it's the Jets, man.
Right.
It's the Jets.
And you got you obviously have the Bills that are going to be good for the foreseeable future. You've got the Patriots who now have Vrabel, have a quarterback, have some draft capital if they, potentially. I think they have the 3rd pick or the 4th pick. I think they have the 4th pick. So I don't, they don't have to get Shador Sanders or Travis Hunter or whatever the fuck or Cam Ward. I don't know any of these guys' names. So I'm assuming they could probably trade back if they wanted to. So yeah, I I guess your hope is to be better than the Dolphins.
Yeah. I guess that's what it is, basically. We can hop into these games if you want.
Let's do it.
All right.
I've thought a lot about both these games.
Yeah.
Not just I've thought a lot about who I'm picking to win these games. I think I'm pretty locked into my who's going to cover these games. But
did you see? I don't know if you saw this. This is because there's been a lot of discussion this week on. There's been lots of discussion on, I think, Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, and then a lot of people are going at each other. But I'm bringing that up because did you see the stat on Josh Allen against the Chiefs?
No.
Bro, it is wild. Josh Allen, I'm going to share my screen. Josh Allen's stats against the Chiefs, they're even better in the playoffs, and he's lost all 3 games. The point is, he's not falling off.
It's not on Josh Allen.
No. In the regular season, he's 4-1. The team is averaging 25.8 points per game, offense about 300 yards, 13 total TDs, 4 turnovers. In the playoffs, they're averaging 28 points a game, about 45 more yards. He has 9 total TDs and 1 turnover.
Yeah.
The point real quick, why I bring that up, is just he's not the problem. And I think as we have these quarterback discussions, again, there's a difference between the playoffs and the regular season. And that's all I'm saying. I know the Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson talk keeps being brought back and forth, but guys, that's the only point I think you and I for sure are going to agree on. It's like Lamar is worse statistically. That's not up for debate in the playoffs than he is in the regular season.
Specifically when it comes to turning the ball over. Which is just again, you can look through, I would love to see the stats on just if a QB turns the ball over once a game. Let's just say one game. Let's go 1.5. If QB turns the ball over 1.5 times in a regular season game, I wouldn't be surprised if there, if there's a way to figure this out, if a quarterback's winning percentage in games where they turn the ball over 1.5 times is still 49%, or I wouldn't be surprised if it was even money. I wouldn't be surprised if 1.5 turnovers. I imagine if you turn the ball over 1.5 times in a playoffs, that your winning percentage is 19% or something like that. The playoffs are just different. Turning the ball over in the regular season and turning the ball over against a playoff team, you just gave it to a playoff offense. You just gave it to a playoff coach. You just gave it to a playoff. You just can't turn the ball over listen, guys, it's Friday evening. Congratulations. Time to start drinking. Eli Manning, that's the argument for Eli Manning. The guy turned the ball over a lot. He's in the regular season, it's a different fucking story. Come playoff time, you can't turn the ball over, and he didn't, which is why he's obviously going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
And I'm going to just pull up on the screen. Patrick Mahomes is a prime example. He is the example. Patrick Mahomes has played in 19 playoff games. Look at this. He has 42 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Guess how many playoff games he's lost? 3. He's 16-3. He doesn't turn. He has a 5 touchdown to 5-1 touchdown to interception ratio. And to me, that's what really matters when we have these discussions about any of these quarterbacks, any of them. Dude, you have to hold on to the ball.
It's crazy that the only playoff games Patrick Mahomes has lost is Tom Brady on the Patriots, Tom Brady on the Bucs, and the Joe Burrow Bengals game.
Guess how many interceptions he threw in that Joe Burrow Bengals game, I believe. I think he threw 2. It's not, at this point, it's to me, it's not even a debate. It's not rocket science. If you turn the ball over, you're going to lose. And if you turn the ball over, you're not there. There is this echelon. And we're seeing it with Mahomes, and we see it with some of these other guys. They just don't turn the ball over. And for the most part, Josh Allen's played really good football. Now, that's a problem. It's a team sport.
Which game's first?
Commanders, Eagles.
Okay. You want to go over these in order, or you want to? We're talking about Josh Allen and Mahomes already. You want to stay on that?
Yeah, let's stay on that.
Okay. I have decided, and I know it's like, oh, it's soon, it's it's early in his career. He's got to keep doing it for a while. I've hinted at feeling this way, but I decided today. Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT, and here's why. And here's why. There's no figuring out Mahomes. There's no scheming for Mahomes. You're never slowing down Mahomes. Mahomes might make a bad throw and have 2 picks and whatever. In the entirety of Patrick Mahomes' career thus far, no one's ever schemed for him in the playoffs and been like, oh, look at what they did. The closest we got was the Bucs Super Bowl. That's the closest we got by far.
Well, I mean, I think that was right.
You could argue, but it's like I still think that's a situation where
I mean, that game was a blowout, Joe.
No, I know. But that's to me the closest they got. Tons of pass rush. To me, it's like the Giants getting to Tom Brady in a couple Super Bowls. Dominating, like having a defensive line that gets like you're not scheming it. Like what the Giants did for scheme in those Super Bowls was like we're just gonna rush 4. That's not really scheming for Tom Brady, but like other teams, like Tom Brady. I mean, his career obviously went on a long time, but there were teams that got Brady. Brady got. Peyton Manning got in that Super Bowl. Peyton Manning got in other playoff games. Like the pass rush getting to Patrick Mahomes in that Super Bowl, and then the Bucs just being great. Obviously, they had Tom Brady on their offense is what made that game a blowout. Like I've never seen anybody, and it's not a matter of like Andy Reid. To me, it's just like you're not like Patrick Mahomes is going to figure you out. Oh, you're sitting in zone. Oh, I guess we're having a fucking Kelsey day. Oh, you're sitting in it. You're doing like he in the moment counters. Like I haven't seen anybody.
Well, he. You're right. He adapts. He's a chameleon, and I think that's what made Brady so great. A very similar trait was that we've seen this, right? Those early Chiefs years, they're putting insane offensive numbers. Balls down the field. They have Tyreek Hill. They're just doing, and then recently it's like you're saying, he goes, oh, you want me to dink and dunk 7-yard passes?
That's what I'm saying.
I'll do it. I'll do it all fucking day, and I'll beat you. So you're right. He's tough to play against. And look, I think deep down everybody has their love. And a lot of people, I should say most of the country at this point, for like, oh, Josh Allen and the Bills. And it's just like, I'll just say it. Like, it's tough for me to pick against the Chiefs, especially at home. When you coach quarterback defense, you think they have the best quarterback of all time. I'm not even going to argue that.
I just think the Bills played some pretty good defense this year, but it's not the 85 Bears, and it's not that Bucs team, and it's not the Legion of Boom, and it's not the 2000 Ravens. They played pretty good defense, but this defense isn't like, we're not going to come out of Sunday going like, oh man, Mahomes like won 111, like no TDs, two picks. They got fucking like, if this was I believe in Josh Allen, and I believe in what the Bills have been doing in terms of their like the build of their team. The reason I was on the Bills this year is they let the fucking receiver go. They let the running back. They're like, we believe in Josh Allen. I was like, this is going to be the Bills year that no one, everybody else had them all these other years. I have them this year. But their defense just, to me, isn't good enough to go into Arrowhead and all of a sudden, like, shake up Patrick Mahomes, which means I think this game is going to be close. And if the game's going to be close, I'm going to take the Chiefs at home. I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs at home. I'm just like, here we go. Back-breaking, 35-yard fucking Travis Kelce catch where he throws it across the field on a lateral. They get down, 9 seconds left, kick a field goal, ball game.
Yeah. So here's my thing. I agree. I think it's going to be close. The key for the Bills' defense, because they've had some bad games too, some really bad games, has been turnovers, which they got last week. They got 2 huge first-half turnovers. Conversely, the Chiefs have not turned the ball over, I believe, in like 8 or 9 weeks. I think the Chiefs at this point. Let me just pull it up.
The other thing about the Chiefs is the Ravens turned the ball over twice, and they were still in that game. They went down to a chance to tie at the end of the game in Buffalo. They were on the road in Buffalo, chance to tie Lamar Jackson. This is in Kansas City, in Arrowhead, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes.
So I think we both agree.
Steve Spagnuolo.
Yeah, for the Bills to win, they have to get turnovers. And this was the stat I saw. There have been 280 turnovers. I think I sent this to you, or I don't know if I did. There's been 280 turnovers in the NFL since week 12 this season. The Chiefs has committed 0. 8 straight games without a turnover is the longest streak of any team in the Super Bowl era. Now, I could be jinxing them. Also, to me, I like to play the odds game. They're probably due then for a turnover.
Right.
But the point is, you win games when you don't turn the ball over. Conversely, the Bills' defense is not good enough to win unless they get turnovers.
I like this Bills team.
Yeah, I do too.
I think the winner of this game wins the Super Bowl.
I agree on that too.
I've been in on the Bills the whole season. And even this week you've gone back and forth.
Same.
But when I thought about it today, I was driving in to work today and I was thinking about it. I was like, what's truly more likely to happen? Josh Allen randomly turns into a pumpkin. Steve Spagnuolo figures out how to pumpkin Josh Allen. And Josh Allen throws 2 picks. Or the Bills are the first team ever to scheme Patrick Mahomes. And I was like, yeah, it's more likely Josh Allen. And I don't think it's going to happen. But
yeah, I don't think it happens either.
But I was like, I think the only way this game isn't like close is if somebody puts up an egg, and that's not going to be Patrick Mahomes.
I think it'll be close. I think the Bills obviously have to establish the run, keep Mahomes off the field. I mean, that's been the blueprint since Mahomes entered the NFL.
I might even say I might even be rooting for the Bills. I might be.
Well, I would have said I was, but all these dorks are like, yeah, the league has fixed it.
Yeah, well.
The league has fixed it for the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's kind of a win-win for me. Like, good. And I think whoever wins the Super Bowl.
Which, again, that stat I just said. You guys think they fixed it? They haven't turned the ball over since week 12.
Yeah, well, how many of those plays where they did turn the ball over were called back because they breathed on Patrick Mahomes?
So I agree with you. I'm going to pick the Chiefs in a close game, just like the point spread is. Chiefs are 2-point favorites. I think they win a close game. It's just I'm not picking against them. If the Bills win, I think that's great. I think it's a great story. Happy for Patrick or happy for Josh Allen. Happy for them. We do coach quarterback defense. The Chiefs have a better coach. I still think the Chiefs have a better defense. As great as Josh Allen is, the Chiefs have a better quarterback. I think, in my opinion, the Chiefs check off all 3 boxes. But I'm excited. There's a reason that's the primetime 6:30 game.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it.
Same.
While a child vomits on me.
I'm gonna be vomiting on myself.
All right, our early game. A little different. We got a rubber match. Eagles Commanders, split regular season. Eagles are still 6-point faves. We got Jalen Hurts, who's banged up. You keep seeing stuff. As Joe says, because he's been getting butt fucked for years now by his own.
The only play they can consistently run is snap the ball to Jalen Hurts, have 3 of his bigger players put their helmets up his asshole.
So look, I'll say this. If Jaden Daniels plays the way he can play, I'm not saying he's got to play insanely. I thought he just played lights out against the Lions. I think the Commanders have a really good chance to win. Now, could he lay an egg? We keep talking about laying an egg, turn into a pumpkin. Maybe he is a rookie.
Rookie, cold, great defense, road game. Well, let's do this. Let me start this because I want your opinion on it. Coach, let's leave it offside. The Eagles have the far superior defense.
Correct.
And I would say, when I say far superior, I mean far superior.
I agree. I think Washington's defense is weak.
Now, I would even say the advantage the Eagles have on defense isn't even as big as the advantage that the Commanders have at quarterback. The Commanders' defense isn't dog shit. Jalen Hurts is bad. You could say he's bad because he's hurt. You could say he's bad because he's going off playoff defenses all of a sudden. You could say whatever. Right now, current version, Jalen Hurts is bad at quarterback. He's bad. He's a bad quarterback. His team doesn't trust him to throw the ball to receivers. His team doesn't trust him to throw the ball in the middle of the field. He's hurt. He's hobbled. He's taking sacks in the end zone. He's taking sacks at midfield on 3rd downs where he needs field goals. He is bad. He's the worst version of Russell Wilson bad. Hanging onto the ball, taking horrible sacks, fucking can't do anything. If it's not play action, get fucking fucked. He's bad. So, coach, who's got the better head coach?
That's a great question.
Dan Quinn made a Super Bowl, lost. Nick Sirianni made a Super Bowl, lost.
They both take a lot of risks on 4th down.
4th down, a lot of risks. I haven't seen any clips of any Dan Quinn players telling him to shut the fuck up and stop acting like a dickhead, but I don't know how much that factors in anything. The Commanders don't have a large Italian man whose job is to make sure Nick Sirianni doesn't fight a fan or whatever, but we can factor all that in.
I mean, it's a toss up maybe. I don't really have a strong opinion on who I prefer. I know you were probably going to say Dan Quinn.
No, I don't. I think if I had a strong opinion, I would have given it to you. That's the reason I've asked.
Do you think the Eagles win?
I think the Commanders cover.
I do too. We agree on that. And
I've gone back and forth on this. I'm gonna go. There's the stories there. It's gonna be cold, but it's not gonna be snowy. Link's gonna be tough. I could see a Jaden Daniels comes back down to earth game for sure. I could see their defense gets run all over by Saquon Barkley game. I tried to think of all the storylines. I was like, Bills, Eagles. Oh, somebody finally up the Chiefs. I'm predicting not only that this is how the Super Bowl goes, but I am predicting I'm doing a crossover sports politics prediction. I think Trump at some point this week calls it the Trump Super Bowl. It's the Commanders in Chiefs. I'm the Commander in Chiefs. They're the Commanders in Chiefs. It's the Commander. All of a sudden, I'm back in the office, and the Commander in Chiefs is going to the Super Bowl.
Did you see that Instagram video on that?
No.
Somebody actually, I don't know if he's a comedian. DJ Sizzle said somebody did I laughed at it. Somebody did
Commander in Chief Super Bowl.
Well, he was clearly mocking the conspiracy theorist football players.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. That the conspiracy is we have a new commander in chief. That it's commanders in chiefs.
I did not see that. Now I need to see it. I see a huge True Social post. New commander back. I'm back. And you know who else is back? The great football team of Washington, D.C. I've brought greatness back to D.C. It took 3 days. And I've already made DC great again. It's the Commander-in-Chief Super Bowl. Make chili. Make chicken wings. Don't make eggs. They're $14 right now. Not a big deal. It's not my fault. I'm going to tariff the chickens. It's the Commander-in-Chief Super Bowl.
I think I'm going to follow
Heil Hitler. I mean, no, not that part.
I think I'm going to follow your lead.
Let's go!
So here's what I think. I think Jaden Daniels is playing. Let me put it this way: if this is a close game at halftime, I really like the Commanders. Like they can't. I don't see them coming back from like a
in 10, the goal in Philly.
Yeah, 10, 14 point deficit or whatever. But if they can keep it close within an arm's length by halftime, I'm like,
I've just seen too many. Like I feel like through my life, and my Giants teams are two of them. But anytime it wasn't my Giants team, I would retroactively go, why did I not see that coming? They got hot at the right time. Like, why was that so shocking to me that the 2010 Packers came from a wild card to win the Super Bowl? They got hot at the right time. They had a quarterback playing great.
Here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing.
They have the blueprint of team gets hot at the right time.
They do. And here's the thing too. Dan Quinn and all his faults, and obviously he's a defensive-minded coach. He's smart enough. He's going to say this: we're not going to let Saquon Barkley beat us like they did the Rams. Jalen Hurts, you have to beat us, and I think he'll be okay with that, saying you have to show you can beat us with your arm.
And the Philadelphia Eagles don't believe that. The Philadelphia Eagles don't believe that. And that's the other thing that brought me all the way around to the Commander-in-Chief's Bowl, is that not only would I feel so dumb if next week is here and we're gearing up for that Super Bowl and I go, not only did I pick against the team that got hot at the right time, but I picked the team whose quarterback turned into a rotting mid-December pumpkin. I took the guy whose coaching staff says we don't trust him to throw the ball anywhere near the middle of the field.
Well, it sounds like we're both on the same page here.
That's right. The whole country's about to be on the same page. My ratings have never been higher. Ever. Not even when I was on The Apprentice.
Well, look, it's championship weekend. I know the Miller Lights will be flowing. It's nice, right. Cold January football is what it is.
You know what? It's amazing. That's I gotta say that's the thing about Miller Lite. That might be the most impressive thing about Miller Lite. I go to a baseball game in the summer, in August, Dodger Stadium, Citi Field, and I grab me a Miller Lite. It hits chef's kiss. but at home on a wintry January day for NFC Championship, AFC Championship doubleheader, it might hit even better.
Yeah. Well, guys, no games, no gimmicks. Like Joe's saying, just a beer for people who like beer. It hits different than all the other light beers. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/. There we go. Joe's got it right there. Go to MillerLite.com/dirty sports to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Do you want to do an impromptu Miller Lite 6-pack of predictions?
Ooh, okay. I like this.
You do 3, I do 3. Let's do a Miller Lite 6-pack
of Championship Sunday predictions.
Championship Sunday predictions. All right, my first prediction. The Bills lose a tough one. And after the season, fire McDermott.
No. Wow. Is that 2 predictions in one, or is that 1 prediction?
That's a good question. I was going more for firing McDermott after they lose, but we can go with both, or we can say that a combo 1.
I'm gonna do the double prediction with you. Bills lose, and that means Chiefs win. And I just said winner of that game wins the Super Bowl. Travis Kelce retires.
Ooh.
Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Travis Kelce retires.
Wow.
Walks off into the sunset with old Longback.
Okay. Here's another prediction. Double. I'm going to do another double prediction. The Eagles lose. And something, and I know you could say, okay, Ruther, that's very vague. Something that makes national news headlines at the game involving Eagles fans happens.
Oh, okay. I like this.
My point is, I want it similar to the vein of the guy calling the girl a cunt. Like something where like it takes over.
I'm sure Miller loves that as part of the 6-pack of predictions.
Yeah.
I am going to double down on this prediction. Eagles lose. We get a reverse Terrell Owens from A.J. Brown. We get the crying, blaming. That's my quarterback. What am I supposed to do? That's my quarterback. I'm going Eagles lose. A.J. Brown takes the snap, throws Jalen Hurts under the bus.
Wow. I like it.
These are intense double predictions. This is the Miller Lite 12-pack.
Yeah.
12-pack of bottles.
This is. I love the Kelce retires. We basically did 6 predictions right there, guys. I like it. It's going to be a fun weekend.
It's going to be a great weekend. Honestly, every version of the Super Bowl matchup is pretty great.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, the Eagles, I hate them. They're the villain to me. If they get in the Super Bowl, I'm buying a jersey. You know what I mean? Like if they're in the Super Bowl, I am wearing Mahomes' jersey. If they're in the Super Bowl, I'm wearing a Josh Allen jersey. So there's that. The Commanders, what a story. The Bills, can they get over the hump? The Chiefs, the three-peat Travis Kelce walk away. He just goes on, he's the Andy Richter on his brother's late night talk show. It's all the things.
Love it. Well, let us know what you guys think. Call, troll. I don't know what's going on here in the hotline. 310-359-8365. Give our Dirty Sports Hotline a ring.
Follow me at Joe Praino on all social media, specifically Instagram, where I post all my show stuff. If you're in the greater Montana area, next weekend, Bozeman, Montana, Last Best Comedy, please come out. I also have shows this weekend. I'm going right after this show. I'm packing a bag. I'm going up to San Luis Obispo for shows tonight, in Paso Robles tomorrow, in SLO. Come see those. I'll be back up in SLO for the SLO Comedy Fest and to open for Adam Carolla at a theater at the end of February. Eddie Ifton Irvine in February. Bunch of shows, all on the newly revamped joeprano.com. But the big one, the one I'd love you to be at. Oh, and we rescheduled the Ventiki show here in mid-February. The big one is next weekend, Bozeman, Montana. I love that club. I love that town. I can't wait to come. And I hope that you will join me if you're anywhere near there.
Cool. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll be back on Monday to recap championship weekend. Have a great weekend. And as always, stay dirty.